Girls are wearing revealing clothes at younger and younger ages. Why do they do it? Why do parents let them? Parents and daughters have been fighting over what's appropriate dress for generations. What woman doesn't remember tangling with her mother over the hairstyles or fashions of the day? But some parents, educators, and parenting experts say the undertones of the disagreements are different now, sharpened by the explosion of sexual imagery on television and the internet in movies and advertising, and then the marketing of sexually provocative clothing for younger and younger adult audiences. Saturated by these images, some teens have adopted styles that seem more suited for the red light district than the school district. Some dress so casually that they show little understanding about what's appropriate attire for a given situation. For example, coming to school is not like going to the pool, just like going to the pool is not like coming to school, and you should dress differently for those activities. Today's teens are bombarded with sexual imagery and innuendos the moment they turn on the TV, open a magazine, or step into a shopping mall. Sex is used to sell all manners of products, from clothing to cars. Just check out the Live Unbuttoned, the advertising campaign for Levi jeans. The campaign centers on experience of unbuttoning yourself and breaking free from inhibitions and conventions, according to the Levi Strauss Company website. That translates into television ads starring young actors and their jeans unbuttoned suggestively, and movie commercials depicting a couple flirting as they unbutton their jeans and undress and fall to the floor in a sexual embrace. One thing that has changed is how much our children are inundated with pop culture. Years ago, there wasn't as much exposure to sex, sexuality, or sexual things. Much of the blame lies with the deregulation of children's television in the 1980s, which made it legal to promote toys and other products linked to programming. Toys, often based on TV characters, became gender-specific, with those for boys targeting action and violence, and those for girls encouraging dress-up, looking like princesses, and playing with such dolls as the sexy-looking Bratz collection. The only girls with a passion for a fashion, according to the Bratz.com. What we're doing is teaching girls to view themselves as objects. What they buy and how they look determines their value. The constant exposure has led girls to decide at even younger ages what they're supposed to look like to be attractive. I really do think that the sexual hormones start really, really young. This whole idea of being attractive is tremendously appealing. There's power in it. Every girl loves to be pretty, regardless of her age. And for teens and tweens, looking good is driven by what's fashionable. While high school girls usually are focused on attracting boys, middle school girls are more likely to spend their energy trying to fit in and impress each other. But there's a big difference between being cute and pretty and being provocative. Girls want to look good. They want to be fashionable. That's always been the case. But our mini skirts were a lot different than their mini skirts are. For today, teens and preteens, stores like Aeropostale, PacSun, Forever 21, Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch represent shopping meccas, especially for many middle schoolers who live and die by the brands they wear. Although many of the fashions at these stores seem geared more for the 20-something crowd, dozens of girls can be found pursuing the racks at the shopping mall. Even Victoria's Secret is cashing in on the teen market with its pink collection of pink-hued athletic wear, pajamas, and underwear, supposedly marketed to college students, but in hot demand by the middle school student. And then there's Juicy Couture, a pricey and sometimes suggestive line of clothing that few girls, it seems, can live without. Teen standards for appropriate attire have changed so much that some girls don't even realize their clothing might be considered inappropriate. They say they are only following current fashions at a time when showing bra straps is the norm, and body-hugging tank tops and camisos with spaghetti strap line the shelves of trendy stores, along with skirts and shorts that barely skim the tops of their thighs. Teens' attitudes reflect marketing messages about what is fashionable. So while parents may think today's fashion shows too much skin, teens consider such clothing as low-cut tops and rolled-up shorts to be the norm, because that's what they see everyone else wear. But some teens say the girls who take it an extra step and couple the super short skirt with the tight, low-cut, clinging top, or show their underwear outside the back of their jeans are going a little too far. They've come to develop ideas about slutty-looking clothes, but teens don't realize what they consider acceptable may also be considered over the edge. In 2007, the American Psychological Association reported that the sexualization of girls is a broad and increasing problem and is harmful to girls. It's seen in movies, video games, music videos, music lyrics, and magazines. Experts associate the images with long-term psychological damage. Those types of things set our girls up for horrible situations like eating disorders, low self-esteem, and depression issues. All this comes from putting our little girls in advanced situations that they're not ready for. Young girls are extremely impressionable. Just like adults, young girls want to be loved and accepted by their friends, and they want attention. So young girls watch these images. It puts girls in such a vulnerable position and makes it so appealing to be like what they see. If parents allow their young girls to fall into these so-called media traps, we're showing them that who they are is not important, but what they wear and what they have, be it a large chest or a stomach showing, that's what's important. We're putting them in such awkward situations where they don't have the mental or physical capacity to handle what's going to come at them. And as a result, they'll either make poor choices or damaging choices, physically and mentally, that will hurt them forever. At face value, consumers want to blame the media, but parents ultimately have the last word. As parents, we have the experience to foresee what the decisions are going to lead them to as they get older. But we give them choices within the boundaries we've set, and we have to stick to those boundaries. If we deviate, we open up doors that we don't want to open. If we're listening to provocative things and dressing out of character for our age and our girls, then our girls are going to pick up on that. So we need to be very focused on how we're appearing at first. Perhaps the most powerful tool of all to combat the trend in sexy retelling to young girls is monitoring their media consumption. We have to monitor the television and the music. We have to turn it off, turn it down, and make it appropriate. Parents' discomfort over their daughters' clothing choices is normal. That's because parents are thinking with the sexual brain of adults, rather than realizing that teens may not yet think things as adults do. As parents, we're facing a generation that's facing so many confusing images before their sexual beings. How do you teach teens what exploitation is? They don't get it yet because they're not sexual beings. Our responsibility is to teach them.